and gentlemen, we're just going to keep rolling because Doom the Dark Ages is a game that a lot of us saw for the first time during the June event for Xbox and were completely, just utterly blown away. I mean, listen, it had leaked that they were potentially going back to the Dark Ages, and a lot of people had questions like, "Oh man, is this how's this going to affect his weapons?" Because that's the Doomslayer is known for his brutality with the weapons. Folks, I'm here to tell you, based on what we've seen already and what was revealed at Quake-Con, you're not going to be upset at all. It is so gory. You're going to be fighting in a mech, a giant Godzilla-sized mech. Who says no to that? Jamie, I'm going to, again, I pulled a tweet. It's from Okami13 _. Again, phenomenal community member, consistently putting out great tweets. Of course, a lot of gaming news. And obviously, I can't say I'm friends with him. He follows me. He doesn't follow a lot of people, which I feel incredibly honored. But I'm happy to follow him because, again, he's one of the community's best, in my opinion. This is what he had to put in a lot of bullet points here, folks. So get ready. There is a lot of information that came out of Quake-Con 2024, and here it goes. According to Okami, he says this: the world is much more open than previous games. Now, he's not suggesting that it's an open world Doom game, but it's going to have big spaces for you to go and, well, do our thing. He goes on to say there are 3 melee weapons: a flail collects ammunition, a mace and fists creates chains of electricity. There's also the Source Shield that can be used to traverse the map as well as, of course, eviscerate your enemies. We saw it, but it confirms that the Source Shield can, in fact, be thrown at enemies, which is dope. Less vertically than Doom Eternal. Jumping is weightier and heavier now compared to the power armor in Fallout 4. That's pretty interesting because there was a lot of platforming in Doom Eternal. I was okay with it, but a lot of people did not like it. They just want this big hulking mass to just tear shit up in front of them and just keep it moving. So I appreciate that. It goes on to say there are glory kills. The glory kill system has been reinvented, which sounds dope. New weapons have been revealed at QuakeCon. The double-barrel plasma E shotgun, and they also have the single barrel shotgun. Those were shown off for the first time at QuakeCon. You can nail enemies to the wall with the nail gun. That sounds painful AF. But you know what? If you're a demon, you got to go. The giant mech can be used several times throughout the campaign. The mech fights with its fists and double cannon. So you're going to be able to shoot as well as punch the hell out of everything. And finally, the mech can perform glory kills and has a specialized HUD while you're inside the mech. I mean, Jamie, can this game get any better? And why do we have to wait until 2025? Oh my God, I want this game like right now. I don't know when in 2025. They haven't gave us an official release date, but it is coming out next year. This is a big release. Let's get your thoughts on the newly revealed information from QuakeCon 2024.
Yeah, I mean, this game looks amazing. I think it's going to be a Doom game millions will love to play. And from what I've read from that list, it looks like they've kind of fixed a bunch of issues people had with the last one. Doom Eternal had a lot of platforming, a lot.
Yes.
You could swing from different poles.
Yep.
You could swing from the chain and all that stuff. And I didn't actually have a problem with that. I thought it was pretty fun, having first person platforming in a Doom game. But it looks like they've kind of, shortened that down a bit by having it less vertical. Granted, you do have a dragon in that game, but it's all good news, really. The shield looks like it adds a lot to gameplay. You can use it to traverse the environment, which is really cool. You're basically going to be like Captain America at that point. And like just the whole mech system, you're going to be able to control a mech, and that mech also has glory kills as well. it really looks like it's probably going to be one of the best Doom games, if not the best Doom game ever made. Like you said, a lot of people didn't really like the platforming in the last one. If you think back about 2016 with Doom, literally it was like the original Doom game, but modern. You just circle strafe and destroy the hell out of everything in your path. Um, and the Eternal was extremely open, like very open to the point where I saw a lot of people complain about that. And I think there was a lot of traversal in that game, maybe a lot more than people wanted. The way you had to open up some doors with some light puzzle segments. I think them going back a bit is it's a good move. I personally like that stuff. But everything about this game sounds good. It will be interesting to see what they're going to do with things like multiplayer, because I've read the description for this game. I've read the press release by, the one that Bethesda sent me, and it just keeps saying single player. So, like, I have a feeling that maybe there's not going to be a multiplayer component in this game, which, to be honest, um, I don't really have a big deal with. That team, and I'm pretty sure I can talk about this now. I played the Doom closed alpha back in 2016, and that multiplayer, what we played, never got released, and it's possibly one of the best multiplayer games I've ever played.
Whoa.
Yeah, and the public never got it. Because they changed the way everything works. Anyway, that's a story for another day. But it looks like there's not going to be any multiplayer in this game, which is, I'm okay with. But hey, everything about this game so far looks and sounds amazing. And I have seen some stuff on Reddit. I don't know how much I believe it, that it will release in February. So if that's true,
Someone in the
yeah.
chat. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because they said some RJ Funtime seems to believe that it's going to be out in March. So you guys are close. February, March. That sounds freaking awesome to me. But you know what's interesting? Isn't Avowed supposed to come out in February? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. Don't put Doom against Avowed, please, for the love of Joe.
Yeah, I honestly see Avowed being like, maybe a month and a half apart, and they don't really, they aren't really in competition with each other. But if you're looking at what Microsoft said with them wanting to release a major AAA every quarter, maybe
Yeah.
we do get Avowed in like, January, and then we get, Doom in late March or April. And I think that'll be completely fine. I just think, like we were saying at the beginning of the show, Microsoft and all these other companies have to be very careful with releases, because let me tell you, again, as someone that covers upcoming games, when GTA 6 launches, let's say October next year, you're going to essentially have a month on either side of that release where nothing comes out.
Yep.
People are going to be too afraid, because people will stop buying games to save up for Grand Theft Auto, and that like literally we're going to have about 2 months of where one game releases. So like the first half of next year is going to be absolutely stacked. I think Avowed and Doom, they'll release quite far apart, but either way, I think gamers, we have a lot to look forward to next year.
Oh my
The amount
God, it's crazy. It's crazy how
yeah.
many games next year.
Yeah, the amount of different genres that are coming, like we still don't even know when Perfect Dark is coming. Gears of War E-Day, we've heard that might be coming next year. Like next year is going to be stacked, and that's a good problem to have at this point. So like, and when you have these games that look so good, like Avowed, we're going to hear more about this at Gamescom. It looks phenomenal. Doom Eternal, like sorry, not Doom Eternal, Doom the Dark Ages. It looks incredible. Like you can't look at that game and complain about it. But again, it looks amazing. I think people are going to be happy with this, and I wouldn't be surprised with the March release.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, they're gonna have the one thing that they're gonna have to be better at, and I'm hoping that we see that next year, Umbra, is how they can have so many games in a year, but give everyone enough shine. Where even if it's 2 months, like I think Jamie's onto something. I think it's confirmed. I saw a lot of people talking about it. Avowed is in February.
Yeah,
That has
it's in
that
February.
that's
Yeah.
confirmed. So if that releases in February, I'd like to see 6, 7, 8 week gap between Avowed and Doom, personally, because again, yes, they are two different genres in the sense where one's an RPG and one's a first person shooter, horror game, so to speak. But they're still first person games. And even though you can play Avowed in third person, which I think is dope, and how I'm going to personally play it, I'd like to see them kind of give some breathing room to some of these games. And again, if Avowed would have been January, then that would have been fine for a March release, because that gives almost 2 months, and that's fine. But listen, let's get your thoughts on some of the breakdown, because again, thanks to Okami of Twitter, Okami 13 underscore, one of the big things that the information that we got from Quake-Con is the fact that there's going to be less verticality in Doom than Doom Eternal. A lot of people in this chat right now are like, "Yeah, I hated the platforming." There is a particular, I don't know if anyone remembers, a particular platforming part where you had to get to one side and you had to keep shooting and jumping, and the platforms would disappear or go back in. I
Oh,
died
yeah.
like 150 freaking
Yeah.
times there. Like it's ridiculously difficult. So Jamie knows exactly what I'm talking about. That's how terrible it was. So I think that getting back to what we saw in the reboot of Doom in 2016, where it was just big hulking tank that just tore shit up in front of him. And of course, you're gonna do, there's gonna be some jumping, but it's not to the point of Doom Eternal. Let's get your thoughts on some of the breakdown that we got out of Quake-Con.
Yeah, no, everything sounds really, really good. And shout out to Okami, like you said. I follow him. He follows me, by the way. But good brother. I got to get him on the show one day, by the way. But
Good dude,
yeah,
really good dude. Yeah,
solid guy. Who would have thought because me and Daddy talked about QuakeCon, which I believe he went to, by the way. So I think you will have that to talk about this week. But they, the idea was that they weren't going to show anything new there, and now we're hearing, oh, hey, this was shown behind the scenes there. So they lied to us. No, I'm joking. But seriously, but no, everything sounds really, really good. I'm not the biggest Doom fan, but I did really love the what's the first one called? Is it just Doom?
It's Doom.
Doom
I always call it Doom 2016. Yeah,
2016. Then you had
and Doom Eternal, which would be the sequel. Yeah,
the Doom Eternal I thought was really, really good, but I thought, to me, 2016 I thought really hit that the sweet spot for me personally more. And I like the whole aspect of traversal and platforming, because I'm a platforming fan. So I like when a game implements that well. I do know what you're talking about as far as on Eternal, where you had to go through that spot where you have to jump and shoot those things, and that can be frustrating. So this right here has less verticality, so maybe it's going to be less frustrations when it comes to that type of thing. Although I know that one in particular wasn't about verticality necessarily, but in general, I like the thought that they're not going to have it be as vertical, and I guess the pacing possibly a bit slowed down from what it seems to be described as. I think Doom can use it. To me, Doom is like people were brought up to me. Well, for instance, what's the name of that game? Unreal Tournament. And they're like, oh, it's Unreal. And I'm like, it's not for me. And the reason why is because it's akin to Call of Duty, where it's this kind of twitch shooting, flying around. It's too much for my old bones, I suppose. I don't know. My eyeballs, I can't keep up. You know what I mean? So I see Doom moving around the way we move in Eternal, for instance, and it's very hectic. And for me, and as I guess as over the top as the action can be and everything, and gory and all that's really nice. But after a minute, my brain starts to feel like, okay, let's slow this down a little bit. Can you kill that demon in 30 frames per second for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny because Rick L in the chat says Doom got too hard and fast for my gray beard, especially when they had all the platforming BS.
That's
LOL.
what it started to feel like. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the only thing that made me feel a way about Doom Eternal, was just like, okay. And then you got the rock music going. I'm like, okay, all right. I feel like I'm in a Megadeth video or something in here. I'm not. I couldn't rock with. I couldn't get fully jiggy with it. It's not a bad game. Clearly, I have to go back and finish it. But, and I know some people revere it and love it more than anything else. But it's just I don't know. I think it's a preference thing. And for me, it's so fast paced. It's so
It really
super
is.
action oriented that is this disorienting to me, if that makes sense. So I like the idea that this will have a slower pace. That to me speaks well closer to what I would prefer. I don't need it to be slow. I just need it not to be so hectic, if that makes any sense. I like the added new weapons and stuff. They're really good at weapon creation.
Yep.
I look at them akin to how we look at Insomniac when it comes to them making for instance, like guns in Ratchet and Clank. And you see all these new guns they add in there and things you can do in that world. I look at Doom somewhat in that way. We're like, oh, here's this. Here, oh, look at this weapon. We saw, for instance, the skull crushing gun that's shooting out bone fragments and like
man.
that. Super inventive idea, right? Creative idea. And so I like the idea of that. You mentioned, I think, a double-barreled plasma shotgun or something like that.
Yep.
That sounds really dope. I want to see how that works out. I mean, I know we're going to end up getting the BFG at some point. It's a staple. We have to get that. But this being in a more medieval setting too, I like the idea, for instance, that they're going to give us what is that, a flail? I think they said. So yeah, if anyone knows what a flail is, it's somewhat like a mace, except it's a stick with like in a sense, a chain with attached like metal spiked ball or whatever, for instance.
Yeah.
And I think they said something like you'll be able to use it to collect orbs and things like that. So I'm pretty sure you're going to have some, and then now they're saying they're going to have the glory kill system.
Yeah, that's been according to Okami, reinvented. Which, yes, please.
Mm-hmm. And so, wait a minute. Are people saying because I'm not feeling it because it's not Unreal Engine? I see you, Don Otaku. And I see Valentine.
The finger pointing. I cannot believe it.
They said excuses. He said you don't like Doom because id Tech beats Unreal. Hey, now.
Hold on.
Let's not have this slander early in the morning. I'm tired, but you're waking me back up. But no, the id Tech is a beast of an engine. Let's be clear. It really is. I would never deny it. I would never try to downplay it. It is usually much more, not even usually, it's often always more optimized, better optimized than Unreal. I will be honest and say that. I still think Unreal, they both give some crazy visual results. So I can't knock it. You know what I mean? I can't knock it. I'll just say that. All love, Valentine, all love. But yeah, no, I love a lot of what we're hearing. It looks really dope. I mean, when we saw the showcase, and boom, you were there. So it just looks like it's going to be a premium experience. I cannot wait to get into it, but still I need to go back to Eternal and finish that up. But I love the idea too that you get to throw the shield and use that as traversal too. I thought that was really dope reading that. I wonder how that plays out. And I guess maybe it'll be upgrades you get to where you can like let it stay when you throw it stays in a certain distance or something. You get to jump on it and haul it back to you. I don't know how
or it actually gets impaled into things. You know what I'm saying? Like you could impale into a wall and use it as a platform to get up to a higher and maybe call it back like Captain America calls his shield, which would be kind of freaking dope, man. Be honest,
that would be pretty dope. Yeah, I like that idea too. Yeah, we'll see how it plays. I love it. I love the platforming when it's done right in game. So I love a lot of what I'm seeing here. I know that they're going to knock it out of the park when it comes to the gunplay and everything like that. So I'm excited. I mean, what we saw with the unveil of it at the showcase when they unveiled it, it looks like, it's going to take it to the next level. By the way, am I wrong in this? They said the Dark Ages is like a prequel. Is that the case?
I believe it might be. I don't have the exact specific. I mean, obviously it's the Dark Ages, so it doesn't seem like it's a continuation of Doom Eternal, the way Doom Eternal ended.
It sounded like they were saying it was going back. Yeah, Don Otaku say yes. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm so wondering how that plays out, and that's why I need to go back and finish. I need to finish Eternal to really get an idea of what's going on in the situation. But yeah, I wonder how that works. That this is a prequel. That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
But no, I love everything that I'm seeing.
You know what? I just for some clarification, and shout out to Don Otaku because he is correct. I actually went back and I pulled the wiki on it specifically. It says it is intended to be the 8th main entry in the Doom franchise and the 3rd installment in the modern version series. Following Doom Eternal 2020, the game's narrative serves as a prequel to Doom 2016. So there you go.
Oh, so it's even before the first one.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't expect that.
So I mean, listen, they've only shown us a small piece. There is an opportunity here to start off because remember, I beat Doom Eternal, so I know the ending. And of course, I'm not going to spoil that for some of the people that did not, like yourself. But it does end a very specific way. I'm kind of wondering if Doom: The Dark Ages is going to kind of give us this quote unquote flashback to where it started and then maybe end in the future, which would be obviously after Doom Eternal. It's interesting.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to play out. And yeah, Peter Burns. What is it? It's Peter Burns too. Yeah, I thought I saw it. I just couldn't. So much information we put in. It's like I'm like Homer Simpson. I get more information. I push old information out of my head. That's what it is. But I didn't know that it was actually taking place as far as a prequel before 2016's game. I thought it was maybe before Eternal, but yeah, that's interesting to me. I want to see how they do it. I love everything I'm seeing aesthetically. The armor looks great. Seeing the fur on him, well, he looks like a medieval demon slaying pimp with the fur coat. I love everything I'm seeing with it.
I love it.
He call me Doomslayer, baby.
Now,
But
if he starts walking around with the limp and a cane, that's it.
Yeah. He's gonna use the BFG as a cane.
Oh my god!
I'm here to slay y'all, baby. They call me Doomslayer. Oh, super excited though, man. I love the idea of them having the Titan Mega Zord or whatever that we get to get.
Dude, it's like Mecha Godzilla, bro. Like,
yes.
Yeah, holy crapola. Yep, I'll take that.
And of course, we get to fly a dragon too. Of course, we can't forget that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be. It's like one of those things where it comes with it take. I think we don't really doubt them. I don't think anybody ever really questions what quality you're going to get when it comes to Doom games.